to the press conference of Grand Slam Track. It is number 3. We are extremely excited about this one. It is streamlined, it's simplified, it's supercharged. 3 days go to 2 days, 11 events per day. It's jam-packed. It's going to make it even better. And Talia Brooks, it's safe to say you are bang up for this one.
I am. I'm excited for these hurdles.
Well, in fact, first of all, the shades. Talk us through the shades.
Oh, the shades. I promise y'all I'm not trying to be cool. My eyes, I got something going on here, so we're just going to cover it up and just, you know. It goes with the fit, though, so it's okay.
We like the drip. We like it. But sorry, you are very excited about this one.
I am. I'm excited about the hurdles. I'm excited to see Sydney come down. Obviously, her first 100. I'm excited to see Cordell. We got Cordell in the house, world lead. So I think the hurdles are going to be the highlight for me. But I like the 2 days, I'm not even going to lie.
Yeah, the format's genuinely, I think, game-changing for everyone, for fans watching, for coaches, for athletes, absolutely everyone in between. For me, it's about the venue, because Franklin Field, incredible history, originally constructed in 1895, has made history over the course of 100 years, over a century worth of pen relays. In 1922, had the first ever radio broadcast of a football game in the country. In 1939, the first ever television broadcast of a football game in the country. In 1960, it was the NFL championship game, the predecessor to the Super Bowl. So much history, and even more history is going to be made tomorrow, kicking off with our first ever Grand Slam track right here in Philadelphia. Are we bang up for it, by the way? Are we excited? Yes.
Can we give it up for Radzi the encyclopedia? Like, let's just
well, thank you.
That was good.
I'm trying. Just a boy from Wolverhampton, trying to memorize stuff. But as for us here, it's now time to bring out an absolute colossus of sport period. Would you please give it up for the legend, the commissioner, MJ Michael Johnson.
Welcome to Grand Slam Track. All right, so we are on the 3rd stop. Welcome. Glad everybody's here. We're super excited, as always. We are televised in over 200 countries now. I think the last time we were in Miami, it was just under 200. So we just continue to go from strength to strength with Grand Slam Track, all because of all of the great athletes that we have in this league. So another action-packed weekend of action. We got Sydney, of course, dropping down. Everybody's talking about it. Sorry, Sydney. It's just, you are a legend, so we're going to talk about you, right? So Sydney dropping down, that's going to be exciting. We got challengers, new challengers coming in. We got challengers coming back that were in Kingston, didn't come to Miami, and are now joining us here in Philadelphia. So we got people coming in. They want the smoke, and that's what we have here. It's all about the challengers, it's all about our racers, the rivalries. This is what we're doing with Grand Slam Track, and so we couldn't be more excited about the races that we have in store for this weekend. We have seen now over 2 different slams, and now going into Philadelphia, just stand up on your feet moments, because that's what you get when you get the best of the best competing against one another. So very excited about that. We are seeing now with this league, one of the things that we're most excited about is we're seeing people now wanting to come into Grand Slam Track, and Kyle's phone is blowing up and he's getting DM'd and all that sort of stuff, with people saying, hey, did you see my race last week? Am I in? Can I get a lane? And that's exactly what we want. So couldn't be more excited, and this is only about the fastest athletes, and that's what we have in store for you guys this weekend. So I'm gonna step aside and let you guys hear from them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, MJ, and kicking things off, possibly one of the most fascinating of all the groups, the men's short distance. This has been, for me, the validation of Grand Slam Track. Go back to Kingston when we saw a man cross the finish line and say to everyone else, bring it on. I'm an 800-meter specialist, and I've beaten the 1,500 boys at their own discipline. So let's talk to them now and bring them onto the stage. We have Josh Kerr, Marco Arop, we have Hobbs Kessler, and we have Josh Hoey. Thank you very much, lads. And once again, Josh is not letting down in the suit department. We've seen powder green, we're now seeing a bit of the maroon as well. We like it, mate, we like it. And in fact, I'll go straight to the end there, Mr. Hobbs Kessler, because a lot of people at home are saying that this event is made for yourself, the only man to semi-final in Paris in the 800 meters and finals in the 1500 as well. How are you feeling about your debut?
I'm feeling pretty excited. I was pretty bummed to not be chosen as a racer, so I think it's time to prove myself here and that I belong and can compete in these races.
Okay, so this is your opportunity on the spot. What does success look like for you this weekend?
Winning.
Yes, that's what we want to hear. And Josh, yourself, you're also making your debut. You've been watching these guys compete. What have you learned by watching them?
I've learned that the races are super competitive, but I'm here to run hard, and I'm excited to kind of showcase that.
And the last 800 specifically have been unbelievable this year. You've been on an 800 winning streak. Your first 200 meters specifically is going to set a lot up, especially against another guy who likes to run hard from the front as well, Marco. Very good. He's always on this lad. We like it. How are we feeling about that, Josh? How's that going to go in that first 200 meters?
I'm just excited to get in it. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm here to represent Philly, and so I'm not going to let him down.
Well said, sir, and representing Philadelphia, no less. Marco, you're representing, obviously, Canada and yourself. I'll go to yourself. That first 200 meters, who's going to be leading the pack?
I'm not sure who's going to be leading the first 100, but I'm hoping that I'm going to be leading the last 100.
Ooh, that was a good. Let's give that a round of applause. Yes, Marco, on the spot. Go on, Josh. You got a lot to live up to here.
I'm just watching Marco run 800s. I'm having a blast. Yeah, I think the 800 for us changing from the 15 to 800 first, I think is going to bring a whole new dynamic for this event group, and I think it's going to be incredibly exciting.
So who does that favour? 8:15 versus 15:8.
I mean, I'm obviously going to say it's going to favour us. Obviously, you'll have the 800 in your legs when you're on the 15, but I do think all of us know how to run rounds, so I do think it's still a pretty even playing field. You just got to get your distance right and really be switched on for your kind of more off distance.
And Marco, for yourself, what have you learned specifically about going up to the 15? Because so far, you haven't won an event at Grand Slam track, but you're actually the group leader in terms of points. So you're doing something right, the 8s, but 15s, dare I say, slightly letting you down.
Yeah, I don't think there was any surprise that I was going to struggle in the 15s. So my thing is just figuring it out one race at a time, and I think it's going to be patience. That's going to be the key for me in the 1500. So once I take care of business in the 8, we can focus on the 15 and try to get that first win.
And Josh, going from indoors, this is your opening the season, outdoors, how different is that going to be? And are you feeling confident having all those wins behind you?
I'm definitely feeling confident. I've been kind of itching to get the outdoor season started, so running at Franklin Field is an amazing opportunity, especially here at Grand Slam track. So, yeah.
And Hobbs, in terms of yourself, what have you learned by watching these guys, dare I say, make a few mistakes along the way?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is just putting yourself in the races, especially as a 15 guy in the 8. That's something I'm really looking to do is participate in the race, be up front with the 8 guys, and not be intimidated.
And do you have much experience in managing, doubling up over a weekend?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's my specialty, is running a lot of races in a tight period. I've done it a lot, and I'm physically strong enough to do it, and I've slowly built up that mental strength to be able to handle the pressure day after day. It was something I struggled with at first, and it's slowly built up over time.
And Josh, you did very well in Miami, proper redemption arc for yourself. Brimming with confidence?
Yeah, definitely. I think now we're in a spot where the work's there, and so now I need to execute, and that's what I'm good at. Major championship execution and Grand Slam track execution. I think I'm good at getting up for the big events. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty smooth for this one.
And what did it mean for you when you were crowned champion? Because we saw you were exuberant. We saw a release. It's a big thing.
Yeah, I mean, I signed up to this league, nearly a year ago. I think I had my first meeting a year ago last week. And so being able to get a win and validate why I'm in this league and why I want to, be the face of this league, I think is important.
And Josh Hoey, $100,000 US on the line. A lot up for grabs.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I think I'm expecting the races to be extremely tough because of that, and I'm excited about the incentive, but I think at the end of the day, it's just there's a lot of egos in here too, and I think that's going to play into it.
And I'll go down the line. I did this in Kingston. I'll do it again. So Hobbs, I'll start with yourself. Who's going to come second overall on Sunday?
I'm going to say Marco. Sorry, Marco.
Josh. Who are you going to go for?
I'll say Hobbs.
Marco?
You know, I got to give this one to Hobbs as well. I think he'll get points.
Not getting
vote.
any votes. I'm sorry. I can't vote for myself. It looks bad. I'll vote for Marco as well.
Okay.
He's good at getting second in these events.
Okay, then.
Come on, you
So he's leading you on points, though. So what's
Well,
going on?
that's what I was rudely told right after I finished. Is I won with the least amount of points in Grand Slam history, so that was pretty cool. So yeah, no, I think it just shows that we're a competitive group. There's a huge difference, I think, in 8 and 15 in comparison to other events, and so it kind of brings in your specialty, and also it's a hard couple of days. So.
And cerebrally, I was speaking to Cole Hocker earlier on. Every single guy in this group fancies the job. There's no one here who's making up numbers. Everyone's looking for the win. What would it mean to be the first ever 2-time slam winner in this event, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, I want to be the point leader, I guess. So I think that's what. Yeah, it'd be amazing. You know, we're making history this year of being, you know, the first year of Grand Slam track. I know this is going to be, you know, the league that's going to be around for, you know, until we get old and we're watching on the TV telling everyone how good we were back in the day. So I want to make sure that I've got enough points to be able to have some, you know, some say in that.
Well, your day is right now. Always great to talk to you guys. Brilliant additions right at the end there with Hobbs, with Josh, and give it up as well for Marco and Josh Kerr. And lads, if you guys want to exit off the stage, and we can now get very excited because it's time to avert our gaze now to the hurdles. The hurdles and the sprint short combo. Talia, this one is properly mouth-watering.
Yeah, this one will be fun. Let's welcome up Trey Cunningham, Cordell Tinch, Daniel Roberts, and Freddie Crittenden. You're sitting next to me, so I have to start with you. But Obviously you are the defending champ from Miami. You had a PR in the hurdles, or matched a PR, had a PR in the 100. How are you building on that momentum for this slam?
You know, I didn't really know what to expect coming into Grand Slam about a few weeks ago, and now I know what to expect. So I'm really excited to show out here in Franklin Field. It's my first time, and repeat.
And does it feel like you're going through rounds? Because obviously for other racers, the 2-4 group, they're used to running a 400 on Thursday, a 400 on Friday, versus the hurdles, you're always running the hurdles. But does it feel different running a hurdle race and then coming back and running a flat race? Or does it feel like rounds still?
It kind of feels like rounds to me. I mean, I still get prepared the same way as I do for the 100 as I do the 110. It's just in warm-up, I don't have things in my way, which is kind of nice. But I mean, everything's on the line. We want to be here to compete, and I think we've all done that at every slam. Absolutely. And Cordell, you opened up the outdoor season with a bang. You had a phenomenal 2 weeks. You beat Grant Holloway. Then you come back, you run 12:87, world lead, fastest anyone has ran at this point in the season. How are you feeling?
I honestly just feel like me. I'm just coming into the season the way I thought I would before, but it's just a matter of getting comfortable with being a pro and all the things that come with it. So in order to get to this point, I've just been me the whole time, been enjoying it.
And in that, you had all of that momentum, but then you took a break. Was that break purposeful, and what have you been doing to keep that momentum, to keep that fitness a month later?
I mean, I think when we run this early in the season, you kind of check your fitness levels, see where you are, and we're way ahead of schedule. So we got to dial it back just a little bit, because if you run fast early in the season and you don't run fast in July, you ran fast for nothing. So we just kind of dialed it back a little bit, figure out where we were, and come out and compete here in Philly.
And Daniel, you have had historic seasons in 23, 24. We're talking about Cordell running 12:87 in, what month are we in? May. You haven't necessarily had your breakout performance yet. Are you where you want to be in June? And what are you doing to, I guess, hold that through the championship season for September? We're not racing till September for medals.
Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, I don't think at all I'm where I want to be as far as when trials comes around. But I think that's kind of the point of what we're, our training, the way we set up this year. So I'm confident with how we're going through things, whether it's technique, working on things, getting a lot of races in. I didn't do indoors this year, so I've been doing a lot more traveling. But physically, I still feel pretty healthy, so that's a plus. And just being out here competing with these guys, that's the best type of training I can do. So I'm not mad with it at all. I feel good with where I'm at. There's still a whole lot of things I can work on, as you guys clearly have been seeing, but I feel good.
And obviously, as athletes, we all structure our season very differently. Some people don't run a lot at all. Some people run a lot of races. At this point, you have been traveling. You have been running a lot of races. It's been a busy season for you. What's the thought process on how y'all have been approaching this outdoor season?
Usually, I would have ran at least about like 5 races indoors, but I didn't run indoors at all this year. So talking to coach, we decided to just get more of those races, that competition feel, the adrenaline running and getting over hurdles at the same time outdoors. It's different and it's new. I feel like I'm still trying to find like how this season's gonna go. It's weird because I'm used to doing indoors every year, but I mean, like I said, I feel good about it. I'm confident going into every single race, just having fun, enjoying, competing, and doing what I love to do.
And Freddie, I think you've come 3rd in both of the hurdle races so far in the slams, but then in the 100, we kind of see a little big dip. So what?
Big dip.
I'm sorry, Freddie. I'm sorry. You know we're here. We're here.
Okay.
But how have you changed your training, if you've changed your training, to up that 100? Because obviously the hurdles are there. So are you going into training like, okay, I need to get this 100 up for a Grand Slam, or are you doing what you always do?
So I'm doing what I always do. I do think I ran 13:09 in Miami. That's a lot faster than I've run that early as well. I think a lot of it for me is comfortability. I made a big jump from the first Grand Slam in the 100 to the second, and I think with confidence, with reps, and just doing it over and over, I would get better with it. I think my fitness levels are great. I think my speed is great. I ran 13:0 this year already, and it's really just about executing and being more confident in my 100, and I think it's getting there.
And we've seen you do a lot on social media as of recent. Freddie, you've had a nice little social media presence. You did a thing with Drip, one of Grand Slam's sponsors. Yep. How important is it for you as an athlete, or maybe just athletes in general, to connect with people outside of the track?
Oh, it's immensely important. I think connecting with people outside of your usual circle or your usual bubble, it just brings so much fulfillment and satisfaction. It's just, I think a lot of being successful in track and field is having fun, and you have fun when you kicking it and doing stuff with people that you never met before, or doing interesting things, or experiencing different things and stuff like that. So I think just a lot of my social media is just I see something funny or entertaining, and I'm just like, well, I'm gonna do it, and enjoy myself and have fun. And that's kind of what I'm doing with Grand Slam, trying to come here, obviously execute and perform at a high level, but also have some fun. That's kind of the token of 110 hurdlers. We always joking around, laughing, having a good time, but also like we want to compete well. Like we can joke. Cordell making faces. We're not serious, bro. But I do think a big thing about being successful in this very difficult and challenging sport is having fun, networking with people, and enjoying yourself. And social media and the fans and all you guys here watching us, like, that makes a big difference for me.
And lastly, Trey, I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. We were having a conversation about just track and field and how hard it is to come by PRs. Like, you can go years before you get another PR. And sometimes it feels like the general public does not understand that. And you can run a fast time, and they're just like, oh, when you gonna do that again? Or, oh, when you gonna run? What do you have to say, or what do you want to express to people in terms of like how hard that is, and just so that they can understand where we're coming from as athletes?
I mean, I like to put it in a historical perspective. Like, I would say the golden egg for men's hurdles is sub 13. There's only been so many people in human history to ever do that, and I've never been asked like that question more than once. Like, when are we gonna run 12 seconds? Like average that again. I'm like, who has ever averaged 12 seconds? And that's an example of like being on top and hitting that PB again. It's hard to do. Like, we're in an event in a sport where we're measured by finite things. Like for us, for example, we have 12 chances to mess up: the start, the finish, and then 10 hurdles. You got to get that right to basically PB and have a good day, good weather. Hopefully you're not sick or injured.
Absolutely. Let's give it up for our men's short hurdlers. Sorry, let me chill off. Let me go off first. I told you it would be quick. I told you it would be quick.
Thank you very much, lads. And now we're going to go from one short hurdles event to another. And dare I say, one of the reasons why we are extremely excited about Philadelphia, we have the three horsemen of the apocalypse here. Would you please give it up for Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, Akira Nugent, and Danielle Williams. And straight away we can see a little bit of Jamaica unity as we walk onto stage. Take whichever one you want, Sydney. And in fact, ladies from Jamaica, I'll come to yourself first, because Danielle, you've had a pretty busy time of it. Of late in spring, you've had 3 weeks off. How would you say your body is right now, especially after 2 Diamond Leagues in China and doing extremely well in Kingston?
Yeah, I mean, the 3 weeks off were calculated. We planned to have 3 weeks of a training block in May. And so I had a very good training block, very consistent in terms of what we're working on. So I'm feeling pretty good.
So that's huge, because for you, this is a real focus. You are looking to execute and you're looking to get that 100K.
Well, looking to execute, first of all. You know, we made some technical adjustments to the hurdle race, and so every race I go into, it's a chance to just work on it and try to perfect it as much as possible. And I know if I hit the technical points, then yeah, winning is definitely up there.
And Akira, with yourself, what took place in Miami was actually unbelievable. First of all, let's talk about the hurdles. You crossed the line, and admittedly, this is about winning. It's not about times per se. But when you looked across at the clock, what was going through your head at that point?
I won the 100K. But in Miami, I just feel like the environment was like really good, and I just turned 23 on Tuesday. So when I went to practice, I was just like, Coach, like I need that 100 grand, and then he was just like, yeah, you need it, but you got to do what you need to do. So you got to go out there and then show them that you're really good at the 100, and everything will like play into place. And then I was just like, yeah.
But when you say show them that you're really good at the 100, I mean 11:09. That's serious.
Yeah, actually, I'm a really good 100-meter runner, but I don't train for it, which I know if I'm supposed to like really be like, okay, I'm going to dedicate like 1 year to 100 itself, I know like I can be like under 11 seconds actually, yeah.
Wow. And somebody who really hasn't dedicated themselves to 100 meters is yourself, Sydney. It's what the world is. I cannot wait to watch this. How are you feeling about the 100 meters?
I'm excited. Is this on?
I hope so.
Okay. I'm excited. Yeah, it's definitely new. It's a new feeling. Block starts were like fascinating to me, trying to get out of the blocks fast. But I think it's a great opportunity to just see where I'm at, switch up training. I love challenging myself in these kinds of ways, and I'm up against the best of the best in their respective events. So yeah, I'm excited to see what I do too. What do you think time-wise would be needed to win? What would you imagine the winning time might be in Philadelphia? That's hard to say. I think it's going to depend, honestly, on the weather. I can't even tell you, but I just know it's going to be fast, especially with these two. They both won the 100 in this group so far. So yeah, just got to get out of blocks with them and try to hang. Akira, can you go faster than 11:09?
Well, we got to wait until Sunday.
Danielle, can you go 11:1?
Can I go what?
11:1 in the 100.
You know, I'd like to think so. Like, I don't run a lot of 100 meters. The last time I ran one before this year was 2017. And so I'd like to think I could go faster, but really it just comes down to what Akira brings, what they bring, and then I just compete.
Why y'all targeting me?
Because you said you could run 11:0, 10, sub 11, so I feel like, okay, if you could do that, I'm going to show up and I'm going to compete hard, and if I'm competing hard, then I think that chances are I could run as fast as that.
And Sydney, let's be honest, you haven't turned up here to just see where your season's at. You love winning. We know that. I imagine you hate losing. So is 11:09 possible for you?
I think it is, for sure. I think I've continued to get faster over the years. I haven't ran 100 since college, which was when dated, but 11:07. So I think just progressing, growing. I'm here to compete. I'm here to compete against the best and to put my best foot forward and definitely, see what I can do.
So if I spoke to you after the race on Sunday and I said, unfortunately, Sydney, you came 4th, you'd say, you go, I should have done better. Would you say that?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I always want to win. That's always the goal. Always. That's why we're all here. And that's just a matter of you executing your race and your plan that you and your coach have set out to do.
And then in terms of the hurdles event, what's your approach with that? I mean, the times were filthy in Miami.
Yeah, I mean, it's really just, it's sprint hurdles. I'm so used to having a little bit more room in between, but it's definitely just about quick turnover, me focusing on myself, being a little bit taller, just executing properly, and making sure those last few hurdles, I'm just on my game.
And then Danielle, for you, does it matter the order, whether it's 100 hurdles, then flat, or flat 100 hurdles?
Yes, it does.
Which do you prefer?
I am going to do my event first. Yes.
And how much of an effect does it have on you?
It has no effect. What, you mean doing my hurdles first?
Correct.
It really doesn't have any effect. I really just want to get my event out the way, do what I'm working on in my event, and then turn my attention to the fun part, which is the 100, because that's what I consider to be the fun part. There's really no bearings, nothing riding on the 100. I'm just showing up and competing and trying to beat everybody else.
And out of interest, so when you say nothing's riding on it, there's a lot of cash riding on it.
Well, of course, yeah. But I know if I show up, if I do what I'm supposed to do in the hurdles, then the 100 should be a lot easier because I have a lot of foot speed. I know I have a lot of foot speed, and I can trust that to know that there's not 8 people that's going to beat me in the 100. I'm confident in that. And so if I take care of the hurdles first, then, because the hurdles is pretty deep. It's the most competitive event in track and field. And 1 through 8, anybody could win. I mean, if you put a second heat, 1 through 8, 1 through 15, anybody could win. But I know in the flat 100, there's not 8 people that's going to beat me in the flat 100.
And Akiri, so you said, obviously your coach said 100K would be nice. How hard is it not to tighten when you have that kind of sum of money? We're talking about a deposit for a house. There are so many things you could do with that, especially in track and field. It's game-changing money. Are you able to block that out and just be motivated on execution?
I feel like this year for me, going pro was like really challenging, like my first 2 years, to be honest. But I feel like for this year, it's just more of like fun and like stuff like that. And at the end of the day, money comes and money goes. So I can't really focus on that. Like I have to focus on like becoming a better athlete as the year go by for like younger generation coming up. Be like, I want to be like that. I want to be more than what the sport has to offer.
And Sydney, final part. Is it annoying being Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone at times when everyone thinks you step onto a track, any distance you compete in, you're going to win, you're going to dominate, medal around your neck before you've even competed? Is that hard?
It's only as hard as you let it be. I think it's great for the sport. It's great for just bringing excitement to whatever it is I'm trying to do. But I don't pay too much attention to it because I've heard there's quite a few articles out there already. So I try not to read those and just focus on what I'm here to execute and do.
And where's your joy? Is it in the winning? Is it in the times? Is it in changing your life with your family, church? Where is your joy with what you do?
My joy is in my faith, and it's allowed me to go out here and run freely. Knowing that, whatever happens this weekend, I'm content. I'm going to put my best foot forward. I'm going to execute well and compete hard. But ultimately, whatever the result is, has no bearing on my peace.
Well said. We absolutely cannot wait to see it. It will have a bearing on my piece because the blood pressure is going to be very, very high. But can we give a massive round of applause to Sydney, to Akira, and to Danielle? And to Leah, it should be 3 groups. But we do have a little bit of what we call in the UK a Brucey bonus. We have something extra, Talia. What is that one?
We do. We are going to have Anna Cockrell, Graham Blanks, Isabella Whitaker, and Georgia Hunter-Bell for our bonus panel. Let's give it up for them. Hi, guys. I think this is all of y'all's first slam, right? Yeah. No, not Bella's. Not Bella's. I train with her every day. I should know that. Okay, Georgia, we'll start with you. Last year, you really put together a season that culminated into an Olympic bronze medal. What is your mental like going into this season now that you can no longer be a surprise to people?
Yeah, it's a good question. Last year was just so fun because I felt like I was the underdog the whole season. And there's a really fun position to be in. You're just gaining momentum. You have no pressure on your back, but training's been going really well. And so this year's an adjustment. Once you win an Olympic medal, you're not really an underdog anymore. So I am just focusing on training, and it's been going well, and I'm just excited to get out and compete.
And Bella, you made your pro debut in Miami. Obviously, ran an American record indoors in the 400, came back to Miami, PR'd in the 200 in not a favorable lane at all. What's the transition been like? I'll have y'all know, Bella be dragging me at practice in 400 repeats. So what has the training been like to be prepared for Grand Slam, but also what has the transition been like being a collegiate in March and now being a professional athlete in May?
Yeah, it's definitely something that it's not usual, kind of only having an indoor season in the NCAA and sort of trying to make this transition is not something that necessarily is done very often. But honestly, nothing's changed. The goal hasn't changed. We're still doing the same thing at practice. Obviously, the big goal is September, like we talked about. That's a ways away. So we're just trying to better each day and be ready to compete and, not get too scared about who I'm competing with.
Obviously, at Arkansas, so the pros train in the morning because we're with collegiate coaches. Pros are in the morning, collegiate athletes are in the afternoon. So I'm going to make the days up. Wednesday, y'all leave to go to NCAA Nationals. You're used to practicing afternoon. You come back on Monday, and now you're in the pro practice.
Yeah.
How was that for you? It was we were like, Bella's here. Oh, we got another person in the group.
Yeah. No, I just fully showed up one day. And yeah, coach was like, I just want you to kind of switch, start training with the pros. But he was killing me in weights, and then I go right to pros practice. And I was like, we got to fix this because I can't do this. So it was interesting, but it's fun.
And Graham, you have had historic seasons when you've come to pin relays. I believe 2023, you won the 3 and the 5. You just graduated from Harvard like 2 days ago on Thursday. Yeah.
Thank you. Against all odds.
But we know at Grand Slam, the distance runners have been kind of sitting, kicking to the end. Also, they were having 2 races. This time there's only one, and we know you don't normally sit and kick. So do you plan to take on the race out, or do you think the race will go differently now that there's only 1 versus 2?
Yeah, you don't tell your secrets at a press conference. I don't, I've been procrastinating, talking to my coach about any tactics, so I can truthfully say I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Typically in a race, I'd prefer to just kind of get in that pack and make decisions as it goes. I think a faster race plays into to my strengths. So if it gets to a point in the race where I feel like it's moving out of my range, as in like it's getting a little too slow, perhaps I would want to inject a little bit of pace.
And Anna, obviously Olympic silver medalist. How has that medal and that confidence changed how you see yourself as an athlete this season?
Well, that's a great question. I think the main thing is it confirmed I am who I've always believed I was. I think that last year was such an interesting year. Moved to Arkansas in October of 23. There's a lot of change. I had an injury in the fall. I had to kind of rush back from that. And so there were so many things that on paper were going wrong for me last year. And I just remember having a conversation with Boogie and being panicked and feeling like, how are we going to get this done? How are we going to, I started to feel like we were running out of time. And we just had a really honest conversation about where I was, how far I'd come, what has gone right, even in the midst of all that was going wrong. And so I just put a lot of trust into myself and into my coach and my support system. And I knew going into the games that people had their podium predictions and this and that. And I just kind of put all that to the side. And I was like, I know who I am. I know what I've come here to do. And it's on me to take it. And so I think yeah, it was just the culmination of a lot of work, and it was really exciting to go into the games and get it done and just prove to myself I can do this. And I've done it before, I'll do it again, and I can do it on the biggest stage. And so I feel like that was a big weight lifted off of my shoulders. I was putting so much pressure on myself to get it done. And now this year, I think that, yeah, I have the confidence of having done it, but more than anything else, I have the peace of just like, I can do hard things, I can do them over and over again. And even when I feel like I'm having a rough day or it's not going the way I want it to, I can make things right and I can be in control. So it's been a big mindset shift, and the workouts haven't gotten any easier, so as you have seen. So yeah, it's just been, it was a big paradigm shift in a lot of ways, and I'm really grateful for that.
Georgia, you ended your season in Brussels with the 8:15 double, and now essentially you're opening up your season. You've raced a 15, but this will be your season debut for the 800. Just doing it in opposite order. How are you feeling going into it?
Yeah, it's difficult doing. I think you can run a really good 800 and a really good 1500 if you have a bit of a break. Doing the back-to-back was interesting at Brussels Diamond League last year. Felt amazing in the 800 and then pretty cooked the next day in the 15. So I think it's harder than it looks. So fair play to Hobbs going to the Olympics and doing the whole thing with the rounds and everything. So I think it's fun to start with the 15. You know, that's my main event, I would say. But I've actually feel like training has been more geared to 800 recently. So I've been doing a lot of speed and excited to race.
And Graham, this is a treat having so many top American distance runners in one race with no pacer outside of a championship. What information are you and your team hoping to get from this race?
It's obviously a really good test for the World Championship trials, like the U.S. Championships, because it's a lot of good American distance runners in there. So hopefully just getting like a pulse check on my tactics and then my closing speed. But honestly, I just want to come out and open up the season, have a lot of fun, and just compete really well, because it's a long way to July and August, and even longer way to September.
And Anna, I think in the last few seasons, you've raced the flat 400 maybe 6 times. And in this season, you've raced the flat 400 more than you have 400 hurdles. What's y'all's approach to this outdoor season?
Yeah, I think the approach to this outdoor season is just finding the deficiencies in my training and my racing and trying to work on them and correct them. I am admittedly a flat 400 hater. I'm working on that because when I got into track, I was a 100-meter hurdler. I don't know if this is the right time to pitch it, but Grand Slam, I would love a 100-meter hurdle, 400-meter hurdle double. If you just want to mix it up, Jasmine Jones is clapping. Thank you. I know you get me. So you with it? Y'all with? Anyway. Okay, period, Freddie. So yeah, I think that I came into track as a girl that really was into the speed stuff, the fast stuff, the short stuff, and making that transition into 400 hurdles was a big deal for me. And so I was never a flat 4 girl that learned how to do 400 hurdles. So it's kind of been the opposite for me. I'm a hurdler who has to learn how to run open. Sometimes I feel like blind when I'm running the open 4 because I'm like, where are my markers? Where are my barriers? Who am I? What is this race? So it's been really fun to find something I'm not as good at and get better at it. And I'm glad that I've been able to see progress. So yeah, our approach to this season has just been Boogie kind of being like, you're bad at that. And me being like, ouch, okay, I'll try harder. So it's been humbling.
Humbling is fair when you're dealing with the Johnson brothers.
Brothers Johnsons, man.
I got humbled today in front of everybody when we were at the track. Okay.
You were in public, they had to show out.
Yeah, always. Bella, you are at one of your alma maters. You graduated from Penn, but Bella is currently a Hog, kind of, so we just got to throw that in there. How special is this track to you? 2-part question. How special is the track to you, and obviously to all the fans that turn out here? And then also, can you explain to us the nuances of the track? If you're in lane 1, it's a little weird. You got to pass the line twice. Like, break that down for us.
For sure. Yeah, no, the track's a little bit weird because It was built with lane 4 was lane 1, so everything built inward is shorter than a 400 technically. But don't worry, if you're through 1 through 3, you just start behind the start line, go past it, and then like pass it again at the finish. So it's a little bit strange. But yeah, no, I mean, it means the world to come back here because this is kind of sort of where my dream of becoming a pro athlete and really doing the thing started here on Franklin Field. And I mean, my freshman year of high school, I came to Penn Relays, and I've been to Penn Relays for every year except for this last year, so it was sad to be away. But yeah, there's something special in the air here in Philly. I always talk about how it is a city of brotherly love, and I really have felt that community every second that I've been here. And I was so grateful to be here undergrad. Yeah, so it's honestly beautiful to be back, and I'm really excited to kind of show up for the home crowd once more.
Perfect. Thank you guys so much, and good luck to everyone competing this weekend.
Thank you very much. And also, just as the guys step off stage, I walked across the road earlier on with Anna, and a lady just shouted, "Girl, I love your body." So that's a fact. That is a fact. Now, in terms of what we can look forward to kicking off tomorrow, just a few details. We go live at 4 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 if you're watching outside of the US, but CW and Peacock kicks off 4 p.m. Eastern time as well. Anything you'd like to mention about tomorrow quickly?
Tomorrow quickly.
Yeah.
Let's bring some good weather, some fast times. I'm here for it. It'll be a good weekend.
We're all going to be here for it, and somebody who's going to be here for it very imminently is our commissioner, MJ, who will be stepping onto the stage immediately after us while the racers take their places, and you can do one-to-one with the racers, but not before we first of all speak to MJ. So tomorrow, it's going to be historic. It's going to be fairly meteoric. We absolutely cannot wait for it to happen. So many things to look forward to. The openers on Saturday, the slammers on Sunday. History is going to be made, $100,000 US on the line for every single athlete. Thank you very much for your company, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.